And we have stalls of just sports. They are sporting, trekking, cycling and swimming equipments. So I request you all to visit the stall at least once. You might find something that you need. We now have with us Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy. He is the founder of Environmentalist Foundation of India and Krish Infomedia. EFI, which is spread across 9 cities in India, is an environmental conservation group focusing on wildlife conservation and habitat restoration. His organizations have won various awards. To mention a few are Google Social Impact Award 2011, British Council Active Citizens 2011. We welcome Arun amongst us.
Vanakkam, Namaste. My name is Arun Krishnamurthy and I run the Environmentalist Foundation of India. Happy birthday. We do two things, wildlife conservation, habitat restoration. And why we do this, how we do this, and where we do this is exactly what I'm going to speak about. And it's under the topic of youth in conservation. When many were granted students who could do nothing but classes, came together a group of people who have understood their passion for India, who have understood their passion for the wildlife in this country, and who are a part of discovery to identify and understand a lot more things, especially about Chennai. It's a mystery that's unraveling for our own self, and how we do this is exactly what we're going to share. I'm not going to go slide by slide because I'm not even going to depend on this presentation. I'm going to start with a story of a lost lake in Chennai, where today stands a tall apartment which is called the Lakeview apartment with no lake to be viewed. And that's exactly what is happening to almost 237 water bodies that are left in this Archipelago and Chennai districts. Known as the districts of lakes, or the region was home to 659 lakes, out of which today 17 exist in PWD control, which is 17 are the lakes that are protected. Protected in the sense only fewer encroachers and not anybody can do anything with it. If you want to dump, if you want to encroach, you don't need permissions. If you want to clean, you need to run to the offices 3 months prior to the cleanup, and when you're going to do their work, this is the kind of response that you get. Where we're sitting right now is part of a marshland. This might be very hard to understand or even believe. The entire OMR is built on what was once a beautiful marshland. Life of Pi took amazing shots, and all of us were awe-inspired by the movie, and it was a visual treat. 60 years ago, 70 years ago, this city was a visual treat to anybody who could even imagine it or who would have seen it. Let's assume this. I'm going to take you through a journey. Let's think this to be the Life of Pi moment here. Tirusulam, the airport, bang opposite the airport, there is a hill range. And that hill range is part of the Eastern Ghats. And that cuts across the city and it goes into Pallavaram, Tambaram, Mandalur, comes back right into Kelambakam and stretches back right into Mandalur again and goes all the way to Uttarameru. And this is a nice hairpin bend of hills as a range. And what lies on the left side of the hills, that is behind Tirusulam, is now what we call as Zameen Pallavaram, Keelkattalai, Madipakam. This used to be home to, in a kilometer radius, 1 kilometer radius, used to have 4 lakes. And the hills used to get all the rains, they used to condense the rains, and the rains would then fall on the left side, the water would trickle down into a small stream which doesn't exist today. It used to be there 18 years ago. It doesn't exist today. And that stream used to fill up close to 19 lakes in that region, which becomes later the drainage part of the city, the natural drainage part, which is the Pallikarnai marsh. Almost 38% of the Pallikarnai marsh is today buildings, and remaining 12% It's what is going to become a Tolkapir University for Tamil literature and it's also going to become an expanded corporate SEZ for a few corporates, which some of you might even work for. And the third, which is the most atrocious thing to do, is a center for biodiversity conservation. They're building a building in a marshland. And right when you opposite Kamakshi Hospital, there's a road over bridge. On top of the road over bridge, on your left side, you'll find NIOT, National Institute of Ocean Technology. People were supposed to go funded by the central government, were supposed to understand our open oceans out there, study deeply about what these oceans have, about the dolphins, which they don't even know that they exist, and they built the NIOT right in the middle of the Pallikarnai marsh. And that's exactly what they did 19 years ago. Now the stream got cut off, the lake started vanishing, so then what happened? Real estate boom. So we noticed that there's a lake called the Keel. There's a lake called the Keel Kadle Lake. If you drive down from Kamakshi Hospital to Pallavaram, exactly after the each and every signal on both sides of the road, you'll find a lake. It's very tragic for me to even say that on both sides of the road you'll find a lake. In the middle of the lake you'll find a road, which is actually true. And this lake feeds the Pallikarnai marsh. And there's a Narayanapuram channel which connects that lake to the marsh, which is home to 19 different species of birds, 7 different species of reptiles, 16 different species of amphibians. And all that it's being used as today is an open toilet, nothing but that. Where trucks can be washed, cars can be washed, and beyond that, it's now going to be converted into a hospital, a college, and an educational society under an NGO trust. A case has been filed, they can't do that anymore, but still it's going to drag for a long. One question I was asked, why do you want to clean this lake? And we said, because of all these birds, amphibians, reptiles, blah blah blah. The other man said, this lake is worth 840 crores. Because he converted that into plots, he converted that into apartments, he converted that into many, many more. He said, do you think 840 crores matters, or do you think 19 different species of birds matters? Because people here do not understand birds. When you speak birds, it's either a pigeon or a crow. Beyond that, this city is an open forest. They gifted the Guindy National Park, which we think is only the thing behind Cancer Institute, used to extend all the way to Pallikarnai. And Pallikarnai was beautiful marshland which then used to run along the Buckingham Canal all the way to Navalu, and beyond Navalu, near Tiruporu. I saw a book by Romulus Whitaker. Tiruporu forest today exists thanks to that gentleman. He's built a house right in the middle of that, and he's sitting there, he's ensuring that nobody touches it. So there's a forest, there's a marshland, then there's a beautiful drainage point, beyond which starts another scrub jungle, which runs perpendicular down to Mandalur, which is where you have a forest where they've built a zoo. And beyond that goes another beautiful tiny marshland on the Tambaram-Kanchipuram road, which is where Orakada is. And beyond that, on the right hand side, you again have a Tiruvallur forest, which later goes into Ponneri and becomes the Puliket Lake. A geography second to none. Biodiversity second to none. It has all become part of history. So we thought something needs to be done, because it hurts. Because I feel guilty. I sing the national anthem and I use the words Jai Hind, not just for a cricket match, but because I purely believe that I'm an Indian. It's just because a few of us are mum and a few of us are dumb, not enough to understand what is happening. A few of them who don't even know what all this is and how precious all this is are taking over every single natural resource and killing it. Just because you and I can walk straight and talk loud, we don't become a superior species of any sort at all. If we were left in the Guindy National Park for one single day without any food and money, we would get frustrated, we would get angry, we would become psychopaths. But there have been black box deers which have been living in that forest for centuries now, and they've lived there even though human intervention has ensured that they don't have water, they don't have food. That is survival of the fittest. We are not fitter to even talk about calling ourselves a superior species. This is what is happening to 37 lakes in between Chennai and Pondicherry. Why do these lakes have to be protected? And what is the big deal about this is a simple question. One, water table stabilization. This summer is going to be harsh, even the tiniest rainfall. I actually fail to understand how we can't appreciate nature. When it doesn't rain, it's hot for us. When it rains, we can't go to school, which is the biggest problem. We don't understand that water is coming from heaven and it has to be saved. That we don't get to understand, I don't know why. So what's happening is, in these lakes, there are encroachers. There is a huge issue of political backing to take over these water bodies, and how they do it is a beautiful master plan. First, they start bringing garbage. They start dumping garbage. On top of the garbage, they start laying debris, leftover construction debris, and they cut off all the channels which lead to the lake. When that happens, the water body starts drying up. The water body starts drying up. In summer, they show it as vacant land, which is no longer tenable for a water body to be protected as, and then they start building. This is how we have a lot of buildings in Chennai. I'm really sorry I can't take names, but off the record, if you come, probably one of your apartments is a lake view apartment built on a lake. And what is happening because of this is Chennai's water table has receded by 19% in a matter of 4.5 months. Because of the heat that is being generated out here, and because you do not have stabilizers such as these water bodies across the city, the water table is receding. So what did we do? We are constantly looking for water from other states, which is too political people talk about. I don't even know as to why we need to bring water from Kadalur when we can actually, the Veeranam tank, when we can actually harvest water right here. And how did we get water immediately? We went to Cotton MLA, beyond Cotton MLA, there's a desalination plant which was opened up. We're all very proud about a desalination plant which is being built. But that desalination plant, let me tell you one disclaimer, I'm not against development, but I'm totally against destroying biodiversity in the name of development. This is again beautiful country, why this story will tell you. From Kanyakumari, the rest of the land opens up like that into the mainland. And we have two monsoons, you all know, the southwest and the northeast monsoon which strikes us. So what happens is, during the months of January to April, the wind motion is from south to north, especially in the direction of southeast to northeast. When that happens, the beach sand shifts. When the beach sand shifts, it's going to shift from right side to left side. If this is Kanyakumari and you're looking at the mainland like this, the beach sand is shifting with the wind motion. So when you stop that by building something on that beach, the beach is going to start getting eroded from the right side, because this side it's all getting accumulated. And from the right side, the beach starts eroding. When that erosion starts, what we do is we immediately go down huge boulders. The Pondicherry beach was lost like that because they built a port. If you go to Pondicherry next time, stand near the Gandhi statue and look extreme right, you'll find a very ugly looking bridge which is built right into the beach, into the sea. That's supposed to be a dockyard which nobody even uses except for drug traffickers. It's being built right into the open ocean there. When that was built, the beach on the left hand side started eroding. When that happened, they started putting big boulders. These boulders took over so much that now 4 kilometers of Pondicherry beach doesn't exist. It's all rocks. This is exactly what we're doing with Chennai. We've built a desalination plant in Ennore. We've built a desalination plant in Vadalengiri. And I can take you to that beach to show you with picture proofs. That beach was so vast, it's called Pudu Kalpakam. That beach was so vast, beautiful, really long. Today that beach doesn't exist. And this we're talking about 2 kilometers from Madras Crocodile Bank on the ECR. And what are we calling the scene beachway? I don't understand. We've built a huge pier, a platform right into the open ocean. And then what we're also doing is, we're sucking out all the salt water from that ocean. And then we're throwing back the salt in there because the salt cannot be used because it's chemically treated. It's not that we put into a sambar and we cannot use that salt. It's chemically treated water. The water has to go through mud. You know that we have 4 different species of dolphins out there in the open ocean. If you went and told people we have whales in this open ocean, they would be shocked. If you told them a dolphin died yesterday because of a shark bite, they'll be like, where did the shark come from? The shark didn't come from India, the shark lives in Poland. There's a beautiful reef, and in that reef, you have sharks, dolphins, whales, and a lot more. A biodiversity which we fail to understand, a biodiversity which we fail to protect, a biodiversity which we can never take pride in. We should be ashamed that we live here. Because this is what we're doing to the city, is what we felt. I'm not saying it's how you should feel, it's how we felt, and that's exactly why we took on this journey. And then we went and approached, I started this in Hyderabad. There's a lake called the Guru Nanak Cheruvu. Hyderabad is the beautiful story that India pitches to any foreign direct investor. Hyderabad, HICC, please come to get off at our airport, drive through our huge lanes, and then you reach HICC, no hotel, look at Hyderabad, the high-tech, beautiful city, definitely yes, I take pride that Hyderabad is part of India. But I take pride that Hyderabad is part of India, not because it has an HICC, but because it's home to one of the rarest lake varieties in the world. Because Hyderabad is a topography which is second to none with rocky terrain and beautiful lakes. There used to be a lake called, I don't know if anyone of you has worked in Hyderabad, there used to be a lake called the Secret Lake. It's called the Durgam Cheruvu. Today Durgam Cheruvu is nothing, and I'll tell you how Durgam Cheruvu was. Simply beautiful, huh? Four sides surrounded by hills, nobody knew that this lake existed. People had to trek through forest and then go reach that. Now it's one flyover and a road that takes you to Durgam Cheruvu. And Durgam Cheruvu has cement platforms all across, and it's protected fence, a sewage treatment plant right in the end, and then tall glass buildings all around it. It's no longer a secret lake, although secret stuff do happen on that lake. But so you drive to that lake, the birds are gone, the amphibians are gone, the reptiles are gone. And then how that lake is being treated as a positive is they revived this lake. So they understood, okay, the water started receding because the rocks below couldn't take what people were doing. They started sucking out all the water. So what they did was, they laid a cement platform on the lake one at one part, and then they put a smaller wall and they made it a tank. And all the sewage water from high-tech city goes into that tank. Yeah? But it doesn't stink because they treat it. And it's not potable water though. So it looks like, it's up to the brim. The lake is always full. Given the fact that there is no monsoon in India for 2 years and Hyderabad has pretty bad monsoons, that lake today is also still full. Nobody understands how. Hyderabad gets its water from Manjira, similar to Abhiranam. We don't know how to harvest water where we live. They go all the way near Kameshri 7 and they bring the water. Yeah? People don't get water, but still Durgam Cheruvu is full. Nobody understood how. Then actually it was noticed that they built a cement platform, a tank in the name of tank restoration. What they've done is they built a swimming pool and they filled it with sewage. This is not lake restoration. And you concretize the walls, the turtles go missing, everything is happening. So that's why we decided we take up the Keelkatte lake. We wanted to dredge, de-silt, strengthen the bunds, make sure that the bunds are made with only the silt material from the lake below, so that the pond turtles can nest, so that we'll have a beautiful herbal garden there. And I'm very proud to share this news with you. After just a matter of 18 months of toiling, we've got the permissions. So yesterday the paper got signed. And we went from officer to officer, and that's exactly when I understood the power of democracy. Because what we know of our politicians is this much. What we do not know of our bureaucrats is so much. I wish to use this platform to thank every single bureaucrat who sits from a tiny level to a top level, from the Padappai to Kanchipuram district to the secretariat in the city. They really want to do things. They really want to do things. And why am I throwing this out at you? If any one of you is genuinely interested in doing conservation, you don't even have to be a part of this group. Tell me whose contacts you want. I will actually go talk to them. But please don't go tell them, in the street light, road, please help me. Take important issues to them and they're ready to help you out. Because they wrote that civil service exam with some passion commitment, which I really didn't believe for a long time. And they've gotten in there and they really want to do something. But then they're being used as puppets, which is a sad story. When people like us go tell them, see, listen, we're ready to do something, please help us, they're ready to help. 18 months is the shortest time that anybody could get permission for any kind of conservation work in this state. We got that in the shortest time because of all those officers who actually pushed for it. We actually went to the officers right when the new government was formed, thinking that everything would happen because they're going to be excited. They were excited for the first 2 months, and things started slowing down because they had other priorities and commitments. Nothing wrong with that. These officers are the reasons as to why today that clean-cut lake is going to be restored in a matter of 14 months. We really wish to project that as a prototype using which we should be able to protect other habitats, which includes the Pallikane marsh. 6,000 tons of garbage is what we all generate. And if you divide that by the population of Chennai, you know as to how much each one of us is contributing to that. And what we've understood as the main issue with people is that, including me, I'm people, I understand that. I'm not saying that everybody else is wrong and I'm right. The main issue with us is that it's always that somebody else is doing something wrong and we're right. So when I go to a shop and then I take a polythene bag and somebody questions me, why are you taking this polythene? I'm like, listen, I don't have a choice. But when somebody else takes it, but he's taking a polythene bag. We want to change that attitude. We so want to change that attitude. I'm telling you, it's bloody difficult. It's not even getting down into the field and cleaning the mess, because some of these guys have come to join us in the work and they make it really easy for us because they clean so beautifully. And that's not the difficult part. She was talking about boils in your hands and you sweat, you bleed. That's actually pleasure. I'm sure that guy who had boils in his hands is like proud about it. The biggest problem is breaking into people's head, getting them to understand. Any NGO, I'm sure yours is also a registered trust, you all must know what an FCRA is. And I wish to break the ice here, Foreign Currency Regulation Act or something. You need to be an NGO which is registered for 3 years, and then you have to apply for the FCRA thing, show them accounts for 3 years, blah 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 blah. Why do you need that? Is only then you can get money from abroad. My telling is here, when I go out and tell people I run an NGO, they think I flush my toilet, Swiss francs comes out of it, and I cook and eat dollars, and then when I turn on my lights, British pounds showers my entire house. That is so not true. That's so not true. They ask me, what do you do for a living? I tell them I run my own ad agency. Don't even know who you are, you are randomly accusing me, and I can't even talk anything against you. Because the first thing he does is he goes online, there are sites where he can write about us, he's like, what is this guy doing? He's taking all the children from school, he's making them clean lakes, just because he wants money from US. Trust me, I don't know anybody in the US but for Obama. And Obama is never going to give me money. So, this is actually reality. And how difficult it is to get permission to do work, especially when you're young and when you speak English. It's not that I can't speak Tamil. When you go speak to them in Tamil, they're like, Engappa padcha, Madras Christian College, sir. Oh, MCC, yeah. Okay. Wait, I don't even understand why. This is what is happening to youth in conservation. But what happens in return is this beautiful story. Every time I look at this picture or every time when I talk about these guys, I really would cry my eyes out. Because these people are the ones who have given me a reason for hope. 2007, when I was working for Google in Hyderabad, all that I wanted to do was clean one lake. And I didn't know who to go to, where to go to. I spoke to my colleagues, and yes, let's accept the fact, I was in Google. I really couldn't stand the heat because my office pampered me so much with the air conditioning, with the cab, with the food and everything. I really couldn't stand the heat out there on the lake. So my colleagues, native took my colleagues, so they didn't want to come to the lake cleanup. Completely understandable. Not just because you're all mighty, I'm saying this and you've invited me, but that's the truth. And second part being that I went to college students. I did programs, 4-5 programs. And I tried roping them into conservation work. There were a few who were genuinely interested, but others, yes, they were worried as to where they were going to work, what was going to happen in life. They had taken a loan to study, they had parental pressure, so they really didn't have the time to come forward. Or probably they were in first love, which is nothing wrong. They had to give time to their girlfriend or boyfriend, which is so acceptable. So that sector is also gone. Then finally I went to the schools. And I went to 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard students. And I'm not going to talk about what they did. I'm going to let Shiva and others here tell you what these kids did and what they do. Please do ask them later. Just one school program of 40 minutes where I tell them 3 stories. And then I'm flooded, I feel like a celebrity. My Facebook wall is full of messages. My email box, my inbox is flooded, yeah? No dance could stop it. 300 people, 200 people write back. A week later, 100 people are still nagging me. 2 weeks later, 50 people are still want to do something. 1 month later, 5 of them would still be there for every lake beach cleanup or treating every single dog that we get. And these are the people that I've accumulated over the last 4.5 years. Ever since they all were in 6th, 7th, 8th. And it's beautiful to see them grow up in front of you, who also decide to choose careers in an environmental path. And they are the reason as to why EFI is able to make a difference. And I'm lucky I'm just the face of it. What also is to be noted is these kids have pressures from every corner. Every parent wants them to be in an IIT. Each of their parents want them to be known for academics, which is so not wrong, you completely accept. But they break all the barriers and they come forward. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the youth and conservation that I'm talking about. And you are just out of school, college, probably you started working 10 years ago, which is not so long ago, so you're still young. So you could become the youth in conservation, is exactly what I'm going to pitch for. Many of them are already part of our group. I mean, again, there's no membership, there's nothing of that sort, please don't worry. Even if you don't want the name EFI anywhere, we don't care. As long as some work is done, that's exactly what we need. So that's exactly what we've been doing with some of your friends who've joined us, and that's how I got invited here also today. I'm going to tell you one last story, and then I'm going to leave because 11:40, my time ends. Last Diwali, something terrible happened. This is when I realized how Diwali, festival of lights, celebration, blah blah blah, everything okay, we burst fireworks, and we read on the papers about how there's this guy who died in a fire, we read in the papers how there's a fire accident in Sivagasi and how people are dying, and still we go and buy those firecrackers, which I really don't understand. And beyond that, these firecrackers, when they burst out in a city like Chennai with so many people, the decibel level is so high, let's forget people for a while, yeah? Let's actually forget people. If you have a dog, if you have a cat, you'll know the pain that your loved one goes through. These dogs and cats get to hear that 7 times louder than what you and I get to hear. Beyond that, they don't eat. On last Diwali day, Chennai lost, you won't believe, 219 dogs because they had a neuro attack. And 219 dogs dying is not a big deal. It's seriously not a big deal. So why should I actually worry when 10 people die? Why should I actually worry when Hyderabad has a bomb blast where only 17 people died? It hurts, right? Because in that 17 people, one could have been your sister, brother or colleague who would have put a Facebook status saying I'm safe, but he was not safe, so he died, so he didn't put a Facebook status. You knew him, so it hurt that he died. Why isn't 219 dogs a big deal? And how they died? I'm going to take you to my animal home one day, and please come only when you think you are stable and only when you think you're up to it. Because what we found in Perambur, something which shook me and it erased all hopes that I had on humanity, including me. Let me repeat this. I'm not saying it's about you, it's about us. This is what we are doing. And I'm ashamed about this. There's this 4-year-old kid whose mom taught that kid how to light a bomb and throw it into a dog's mouth. The dog's mouth just burst. The upper jaw was hanging. And this dog was lying right outside their house for 6 hours, bleeding, and they're still celebrating Diwali. How did we even know about this dog? 3 streets away, there's a guy who drives past it, and he remembers randomly from somewhere that he read about us. He calls us at 8:30 in the night, and then we rush to this place because by the time we find the place, when we take our ambulance through the Diwali fireworks extravaganza that's happening in the city, we reached there by 11:40. When we reached there, this dog was almost dead. If you watch Harry Potter, the scene where the Death Eaters come take his life out, sucking his life out, that's exactly what I saw. I saw pain in the dog's eyes. I saw life being sucked out of that dog. And the jaw was hanging, she was bleeding, she was lying there, people were celebrating. We were yelled at because our car was hindering the celebration of bursting fireworks, which is not just a car, it's an ambulance. Take the dog away, and the next day you go to the police station in Perambur and you file a complaint against those people who did so. Police officer takes everything in writing, but he couldn't do anything because there was no proof. We know who did it, and you go ask them why they did it, they yell at you. They almost manhandle you, and then they shut the doors at you, and then they leave. This is what a mother is teaching a 4-year-old kid. Yes?
Did you speak to Blue Cross about
Yes, we did. We spoke to Blue Cross, the same old Williams guy, and he helped us a lot. The dog survives today. He has made up upper jaw with plastic. We've made an upper jaw with plastic sheets, and then that's how he survives. And why did I bring this example is because 8:30 he called, 11:40 we reached. The next day somebody calls us and tells us, how irresponsible are you? I'm like, why? We called at 8:30, you reached there at 11:40. I'm not saying we are great. All I'm saying is please understand we are humans. Thank you brought the Blue Cross example. Something happens to a dog or a cat, people call Blue Cross brilliant. But also what people need to understand is they need to put in some effort. By calling Blue Cross, you've not done a great deal. Blue Cross has limited number of ambulances, limited number of people, and this is a huge city with so many animals across. And Blue Cross to actually go treat that animal needs some support. That is the support we are looking forward to from people like you. We don't want your money. We don't want your material. Please don't donate all your old clothes immediately because we are an NGO. All that we want from you is a bigger resource. The manpower, woman power, child power. Give us that. If there's a dog, if there's a cat, if there's any animal who's going through some sickness, illness or injury, feel free to let us know. At the same time, we will let you know what you have to do in the first initial phase so that we come and take over. Please be ready for that. And then if there's a dying lake near your house, feel free to let us know. Let's revive it. Because we've taken up 7 lakes in Chennai city which are going to be restored by 2016 December. You can question me if it's not done. I'm answerable. I wish to be answerable. Because when I'm answerable is when we will actually do something. And I'm really honored to have been here. Thank you for patiently listening to what I said. I'm a very proud Indian, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the only country in the whole world which can house a lion and a tiger in one geographical boundary. This is the only country in the whole world which can boast about 4 different kinds of leopards. This is the only country in the whole world which can talk about 4 different kinds of sea turtles. This is the only country in the whole world which can talk about a dugong, a whale shark, a shark, dolphins. And this is probably the only country in the whole world which has a blind river dolphin that's been swimming across all these years across borders, irrespective of whether it's Bangladesh, India, China, Brahmaputra, she's everywhere. This is the only country in the whole world which has 7 different kinds of ecosystem, and this is the only country in the whole world where 1.2 billion people do not care about all these things. And this should be the only country in the whole world that we should. I'm a very proud Indian, and I'm very happy that I'm in the company of some equally proud Indians who would join us in helping us protect this country from the hands of those who think they can do anything and everything whenever and everywhere they want. Let's protect this environment, not because environment needs protection, because we need water, because we need life to live on. Thank you, and please don't clap, please don't applaud, because I enjoyed your company. When you applaud, I become somebody from outside. When you don't applaud and accept, that's when we become volunteers. Thank you, Jay.
Question?
Yes, questions, if you have any.
off the mark?
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, it's highly inspiring. You can really see the kind of energy you have and who you have and the devotion you have for the kind of work you are doing. So that's really great and appreciable. I have one question. See, you have been talking about so many animals. It's really great. One thing that probably you would have observed quite a lot. Today, there are quite a number of people. They have pet animals like especially cows, and what they do is they milk the cow all the time till the time the cow gives milk, and by the time the cow stops giving milk, they sell it to a butcher, which
I know that place since my father works in that area. Could you tell how how does the basic idea of lake conservation go? I live in Bangalore and I have seen most lakes around north of Bangalore like simply dry up over the past 2 years.
So what we're doing at Keel Cutler is so far we've organized 2 cleanups on that lake where we've removed close to 19.6 tons of garbage that's been removed from the lake. And then now what's happening is with PWD's help, the Public Works Department, we are actually removing debris which have been dumped on the southwestern and the northeastern corner of the lakes, which is purely with an intention to encroach. So we're removing those debris. Once we remove those debris, in a matter of another 30 to 50 days, the water level would recede. When the water level recedes, we're going to desilt. And the place where the water still exists, we're going to dredge. And with the dredged and desilted matter, you're going to strengthen the bunds. When you strengthen the bunds, what we're also going to do is we're going to set up a botanical garden. Which again, by botanical garden, I mean berry-bearing, fruit-bearing, nectar-bearing herbs and plants, which could actually in turn feed the birds. So you're trying to create a food chain and you're creating an ecosystem. That's what we're doing in that lake. And then we'll fence that entire lake, which is almost 1000 meters of fencing material. So you'll fence that lake, and once that lake is fenced, if you've seen the Adyar Punga, which is the Tolkapya Punga, ex-Tolkapya Punga, behind opposite Chettinad Vidyashram, something like that. Leave it to wilderness, no human intervention, clean, restore and leave it to wilderness. That's the whole plan. Because only then the birds, the animals would return and revive. That's the plan with Keel Cutler Lake, that's the plan with Madambakam Lake, and that's the plan with 3 other lakes in Murchur which have already started work. 2 lakes in Murchur have already been fenced, the 3rd lake is currently being fenced. So the plantation would happen in July because that's when we are expecting a good monsoon this year. So in July we'll do a large scale plantation and we'll make sure it's covered and left for winters. Yes.
What is the helpline number of your NGO?
I can't hear you.
Helpline number of your NGO?
Yes. IndiaEnvironment.org is the website. IndiaEnvironment.org. In that website you have all the contact numbers, email addresses and everything. So feel free to log in. And my mobile number is, if you want, I can give that. 9940203871. 9940203871.
Thank you so much, Arun. That was a very interesting session and I'm sure a lot of people will come forward to it. I request Peter to hand over the memento to Mr. Arun.